G'day everybody, Sean from Bourbon Brothers here. Hope you're well. We're looking at our third bourbon in our October box, and one that I'm thrilled to be able to bring. It's probably the favourite one that we've put in a box so far. We've got the Castle & Key Restoration Rye Batch 3 from 2021. So the Restoration Rye, it's a straight rye out of the Castle & Key distillery. Its release was in November of 2021. Comes in at 105 proof, it's aged for 3.5 years, its mash bill is 63% rye, 20% malted barley and 17% corn. So Castle & Key Distillery was constructed in 1887 and after a long period of ruin has been on the radar of many bourbon enthusiasts since their revival and return to distilling in 2014. It's a truly magical distillery grounds that transports you in time. Castle & Key Distillery is a destination that should be at the top of every bourbon enthusiast list who happens to be anywhere near Frankfort, Kentucky. So in 1887, Colonel Edmund Haynes Taylor, E.H. Taylor, built a new kind of distillery destination in Millville, Kentucky. Inspired by European architecture, the site featured a castle, a classical spring house, and a sunken garden. What he built became the birthplace of bourbon tourism. Prohibition forced the closing of the distillery in 1920, and over the next century, the property changed owners and occupants several times and eventually fell into ruin. In 2012, Will Arvin came across photographs of the abandoned distillery. He couldn't stop thinking about its legacy and its potential. He decided to visit the property to see for himself. At the distillery, Will found caved-in roofs, boarded up windows and doors, and vegetation so overgrown he had to use a torch in the middle of the day to navigate. But he felt an affinity for the property. It was then that he resolved to restore the historic bourbon icon. Wes Murray shared Will's love for adventure and restoration. At Will's invitation, Wes agreed to tour the property, and within minutes it was clear to Wes that they could build a brand at this distillery. They loved Kentucky bourbon culture, but had a dream of something different, something new. They chose to follow intuition over the advice of industry experts. They were galvanized by those who called them crazy. The two became partners in the new adventure, knowing the path ahead would be challenging, unpredictable, and invigorating, and Castle & Key was invented. In 2014, they purchased the old Taylor distillery in ruin. They then got to work, building a team of like-minded people, often from outside the industry, who shared in their vision. They state they did not renovate the distillery, they restored it. Taking up Colonel Taylor's sensibilities for excellence, C&K sourced local ingredients for their product, making everything that they sell from carefully selected grains. The distillery states, we choose to do things the thoughtful way, even though it's not the easy way, because waiting to sell the spirits we make is worth it. So that's a bit of the history of Castle & Key and how they came to be. Let's give it a taste. And I love this bottle. Beautiful. It is a complex nose. You get that raw grain up there, 'cause it's still pretty young, but it's really inviting. Get some cereal, some Turkish delight. So it's malty and it's fragrant, and it's complex. That finish, you get that rye spice really coming through. It is a long and complex finish. It's malty and it's enjoyable. So Castle & Key Restoration 2021 Batch 3 is actually the 5th batch so far. The first batch was released in 2020 and each year their batch numbering restarts at 1. Restoration Rye 2021 Batch 3, it opened with an absolutely fantastic nose. It's deep in complexity with the perfect amount of intensity. As it transitions to the palate, it becomes more singularly focused with surprising focus on malt despite being a rye whiskey, and that carries into the finish. And despite being over 3 years old, it's still fairly grain forward. This isn't bad per se, as it's tasting its current form, but I'm excited to see where they can take Castle & Key Restoration Rye in the future. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you're enjoying your journey. Cheers. Thank you for being my friend. Going down the road and back again. You're old and you're yeah, well. Congratulations, you just made the bloopers. Did you just get 2 pieces of bread and run away?
Oh, you're definitely going on the bloopers, Deke.
I don't remember where my hands were.
On facing. That's making moves.
So that's a bit of the background of Castle and Key. Let's take a shot. Let's not take a shot. Let's do a taste. Yeah.
Good.
Okay.